Hi, my name is Romy and welcome to the Make Something series. This video is part 2 of the Make Newsletter series, and we are going to be building on the first part. So if you haven't watched that, I would encourage you to first stop, pause, and then watch that, and then come back to this after that. In the first part, I showed you how to set up a newsletter by capturing someone's name and email. What if you want to take it one step further and customize your newsletter and capture someone's preferences? Let's say, for example, you have a newsletter that sends out recipes to a group of people every week. But maybe one section of your audience is vegetarian and they only want to receive the newsletter when you send out vegetarian recipes. So that's what you're going to learn in today's video. Let's do this.
Let's start where we left off last time. And just to give a quick recap, this is exactly what we had last time, right? We had this newsletter which could capture like your name, your email, and audience. Now, what we want to do this time is, add a role. And I want to drop down here, which says, which has like a field called role, which says, if it's engineering, design, marketing, and that way I can send the most relevant newsletter to the right audience. So let's see how we can do that. Let's click in the form. If I look at the fields, like, there's email, name, email, but what card does is offer only like, full name, company. So if I add full name, it's still a text field, right? If it's company, again, this is like a text field. You can add like a phone number, probably a numeric field, and you can require consent, which is again like, a checkbox. But they don't have anything which is a drop down field, which I can actually capture a drop down here to do that. So we will need to achieve this slightly differently. And what we will need to do is actually configure this on ConvertKit itself. And then from there, embed the code here. Before I move into ConvertKit, I want to show you how we can embed code in card. So let's go here. Let's say here, just below this, let's just add a new element and let's add an embed field, right? And embed field is essentially custom code which you can add to card. So what I really want to do is actually paste custom code here, right? So what I'm going to do is not delete the form yet, the above form, and I'll show you why later on. But actually just put like I will configure my form in ConvertKit and then embed that code here in card. So now we have established that we need to actually configure the form on ConvertKit itself and then embed that code into card. Let's see how we go about it. So what we first need to do is this is the form, the original form. And I need to add a field here, and this field is going to be, let me call it role. It's going to be a tag. I'm going to call this role, and it's going to be field type drop down. And each role will be here like engineering, marketing, design, operations, sales. Essentially the types of jobs, you can pre-select for to get the newsletter. Now, if I look at the tag options, I see no options, right? Which means I need to add tags somewhere. So let me show you where you can add tags. So let's just save this first. And if I go into my subscribers and then scroll down, this section here will help me add and create tags, right? So I can create a tag here. Let me call this, I have some already typed up. So let me say engineering, and similarly, just create all the tags pretty quickly. Marketing. Now, if I go back into landing pages and forms, and I click on this form where I want to configure the role, um, if I click on role, tag, and my and if I look at tag options, these are the options that will show up. And so let me say engineering, marketing, operations, product, and sales. All right, then that is it. And these are all the individual labels. The label is essentially what will show up in the form itself, right? And that's it. Let's save this. Mm, you know what? Since I'm calling this role, I just want to change this instead of calling it your first name and your email. I just want to call it name and email. So let me just show you how to do that itself. So instead, you essentially need to change the label for first name and your first name. So I just call it name here, and I'll just call this email. Let me go. I do not want this ConvertKit branding, and I can save. So there it is. That's pretty much my form ready. If I want to preview it, that's how it looks. And I think this is good enough. So let me first show you how I can embed this directly into my landing page. So I can actually click embed, and I want to grab the HTML, right? So I copy this. Now I go over to card, go here, uh, and then if you look at this, like type code, and then the code to be embedded must be valid HTML. That's why we picked up HTML, and I just copy paste this code, right? And then done. Now, if you look, you actually will not see the rendered code right away. You will actually need to publish the site to see the code. So since this is a test, let me publish the site, and let's see how it looks, right? So let's publish, and publish changes, and then let me view the site, and that is it. So you see, like, there's name, email, role. This is why I didn't delete it. If you look at this form and if you look at this form, the biggest difference you'll notice is that it's stylistically different, right? So what I want to do next is go to ConvertKit, actually change this to match this stylistically. And I'm going to show you a couple of neat tricks on how you can do that very quickly. See you in the next section. We want to make sure that both, like this form, more or less looks stylistically the same as this one. Now, here are two things I want to change. I need to make this blue button green, and then change the colors of these fonts to match this name and email. And finally, I want to also change, the actual font itself. We'll have a form that looks like the original one with the role. Now, I have two nifty browser extensions here for you. One is called What Font. And so if I click this, right, I can actually hover on the font, and you can download this on Chrome, but I can actually hover on the font and just see what font this is. So this is Open Sans, and this is System UI. There's a font called System UI. So let's just change this to Open Sans. This is Source Sans Pro. So I think what we can do is change the fonts to match these, right? So now we saw what the original font was, and then we can, just change this embedded form. And this is why I actually didn't want to delete the previous form, just so I can show you how I can view these things, right? So it looks like, all the headings are roboto, and this all this gray colored text here is Open Sans, and sign up buttons are Source Sans Pro, right? So let's change the system UI into Open Sans. The other really cool browser extension I want to show you is how do I see the colors, right? And for that, I use something called Color Peek. So if again downloaded it on Chrome, and if I click on it, you know, you will be, you can see all the colors used on the page, right? So what I need to do is, this was the original green color. This is the blue color by ConvertKit. I just need to make sure that these are the RGB values of the green color, and choose that when I'm styling the form. Let's switch back to ConvertKit and let's see how we can style this. Let's do the button because that's simpler. And so if you see, this is the background color. And now I just need to put a new hex value, right? So color pick gives me the RGBs, right? So what I can do is default this to hex, and now I have the hex value for the green color. So let me put this here and here. Just that's it. There it matches. Then finally, I need to change the font colors here, right? So if I look right now, it's just black, the 000, and this looks like, it's probably dark gray. So let me go here and copy this and paste the hex value. Then I save this. Now, one thing to keep in mind is that when you save this form, it doesn't automatically update over there, right? So I have to actually go back, pull out the embed code again, and copy paste it. So let's copy paste this. Let's go back to our card site. Um, and then, and then let's paste this new one, done. And then let me hit publish. And then I want to view site again. And there you go. Pretty much stylistically, I think we're starting to get there. Now, I think the thing that is still different is the fonts, right? The actual font. So let's go in and change that. If I look in this panel, there's no place for me to actually the um, change the font, right? So I actually need to do this in my custom CSS settings. So one second, if I go here, I need to add some custom CSS. And how do I know this? If you look into this article, this help article, it just says how to add custom fonts to your form. And what I am going to do is copy this into my custom CSS box. And now we saw this was Open Sans, right? So let's just call it Open Sans. And that's it. We can save this. And small detail here is I can make this bold, just have it stand out. Then I need to go back. Don't forget to embed the code again. Copy the embedded code. Go back into your go back into card. Then delete Command A, delete, done. And then let's just publish these changes. And let's view the site again. There it is. So much better. Now what I'm going to do is just delete the previous form, right? So I can go here and delete it. So there it is. And then finally publish these changes. And then view the site again. And there you go. Here we have a landing page. So let me type Romy, email Romy. This is my email at Gmail. And you know what? Role, just pick engineering and subscribe. That's it. Confirmed. We go into my subscribers here. And let me click Romy. And if I look at Romy, I see myself tagged engineering. So now when I send a newsletter out, um, I can actually use this tag and select this tag uh, to send an email out. So that's there it is, and I think we are done for this one. Hope you really enjoyed this